changed some of my music settings. Screaming. Some BS, bro. Can't have nothing going on here. I think I'm gonna go back and play some more MyTeam today. Been really binging on this for a while. Not show you guys any of the specifics, just go straight into some games. Snow and stuff. Freaking garbage.
Hey, boy up, on the land till I die, till I die, on the east side till I die, till I die, in the hood I'm good till I die, CLE till I die, everywhere I gon' putting on,
Dang, bro.
everywhere I gon' putting on,
Saying too dang long. Damn. Really? Okay. Wow, why are we instantly at the pack? This is different. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and do domination for now. Gonna keep riding with this. I'm gonna keep it the same. I did add Clay to my small forwards. Haven't really played with him yet. After my last stream, I kind of just stopped playing for the day. Did some other stuff, so here I come back on. Got nothing else to do. See these matchup battles. Should win all of them, because they're all some garbage. Dang, we got Tyler Zeller starting at center. That's not real life. Taylor Center is not a starting small forward. David Lee definitely doesn't start at power forward because he gets no minutes. Marcus Smart, where's Isaiah? I'm not complaining because I'm gonna whoop him. But the only actual starter here is Avery Bradley. So this makes no sense. Marcus Smart doesn't get any PT anymore. Isaiah's kind of, you know, a beast. And Tyler Zeller some garbage. And David Lee probably played, like, he spent like 4 games and did not play list. I don't understand how you're going to pay a guy so much money and not even freaking play him. Like, either send him to a D League or drop him, dog. Like, don't have him in the do not play list. I'm actually home. I didn't know you could actually be home in some of these games. Would have bothered changing my jerseys a while ago then. That's easy. Gotta change my stadium too. Look at stadium. Stadium. Anyway. Never mind. Never mind. Wow, he was not trying to jump for that ball. That's easy work. The quality's bad, I know. I understand. My Wi-Fi has just been terrible. Got the snowstorm and stuff been messing with all my signals. Even on my phone, I've been having trouble with that. My power's been flicking on and off, so that's why I stopped playing PS4 for a while. I didn't want my PS4 to blow up, so. Dang. Got me. I like to talk about some NBA stuff. If any of you guys don't know, Cavs fired their coach David Blatt, the first international coach to coach in the NBA. Just fired him out of nowhere. It was crazy. I'm kind of glad they did. I thought they should have a while ago, because I think he's like a coach. The only reason he really enjoyed success was just how good of a team he had. I mean, it's kind of like being an interim coach for the Warriors. I mean, yeah, he did good, but he's coaching the Warriors. Like, it's really hard not to suck. I mean, if you're coaching a team that good, you got all these different star players on there, and you're playing like the Jazz, and you don't win, like, you don't deserve to be in the NBA at all. Like, you don't deserve to have ever been given a chance to coach. I have never coached. I may play basketball, I may play 2K, but I don't know nothing about coaching, but I'm pretty sure I could coach the Cavaliers to beat the Jazz. Because pretty much the whole team is coached by LeBron, because he just tells the coach what to do in the first place. So, it doesn't really matter what the coach says anyway, so. They decided to move up their assistant coach, who apparently LeBron and them have liked. And apparently it was some big deal, like they didn't consult LeBron in their choice of coaching, because apparently when you have a star player, you're supposed to go and tell him and ask his permission to fire your coach. I didn't know you had to do that. Apparently now you do, because it's LeBron's team. Even though it's really not, because he's not all that good. If you play with him in 2K games, he's got like a D- in 3. Like, he just stopped shooting threes. He just stopped shooting. His offense consists consistently and only of layups and dunks. Like I said, he's only been good for his whole entire career is his size. And now that he's old and he can't shoot because his knees are going bad, he now realizes that's all he's good for, is those post moves, and that's it. And his size, because he's a freaking linebacker playing, okay, I don't know about that. A linebacker playing small forward. Another thing, Kobe leading the All-Stars. I don't get why some people have such a problem with this. I do, because I know Kobe isn't like playing as good as some other people missed out on being starters. Like Draymond Green, he missed out on being a starter. But I don't know. It's just the thing is it says an all-star game, and this isn't the NBA Finals. It's not about best team or best players. It's about like stars. And if you want to talk about stars, you can't not include Kobe. Because whether you hate him or like him, the fact that you hate him or like him is why he's a star. Like, everyone has an opinion on him. Everyone knows who he is. And he's one of the biggest draws in all of, like, the NBA. They put out the jersey sales, and everybody was all, like, going crazy about how Porzingis, as a rookie, is selling the 4th most jerseys. But I think it's crazy that Kobe is number 3 in jersey sales. Which, when you've been playing that long in the NBA, you would have thought by now, everyone that was going to buy your jersey already had your jersey. Like, you think you'd run out of customers. Like, so many people are being born into Kobe-dom that they're still selling jerseys. From the jersey store. This isn't like buying off eBay that they count that. Like, this is from, like, NBA.com. Like, people just straight up buy brand new Kobe jerseys. I just find that insane. First off, I've never bought a brand new jersey on freaking NBA.com. Always buy those somewhere else. You can get them way cheaper. Got a brand new jersey like last week for my brother for like $20. It's a $130 Nike jersey, football jersey. Brand new with the tags, everything. Just sat in someone's closet for like years. That's all you gotta do. So I don't understand these people that go on like NBA.com and buy these jerseys. I just think that's stupid. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree with saying like Kobe's obviously, we all know Kobe's not an all-star starter because he's the best player out there and he deserves it. But again, it's not a deserved thing. Like, none of these guys deserve anything. Like, they all earned it. Kobe earned it through 18 years of playing and becoming one of the most polarizing figures in all the NBA. He had to earn that spot. Like, he didn't just one day wake up and all of a sudden everybody loved him. Like, he had to fight for fans with next to Shaq and players like Karl Malone played there. Like, he had all these stars that were on his team, and yet he was always one of the favorites. So he didn't deserve it, and he didn't get it just because his name, like, oh, he didn't deserve it. It doesn't matter if he deserved it. Like, he earned it through 18 years of hard work. And I commend him, because, I mean, we all know it's his last season. Let the dude go out and shine. Draymond Green, you'll have another year, because you're young. You got more years. Just do good next year. Win a ring. Like, get in these haters' face. You want to worry about proving them wrong, go win a ring again. Like, if you want to be the best, then go out and win some award. Be the most improved. Win Defensive Player of the Year. Those are the ones that matter. Like, increase your stats and get to the level that Kobe Bryant is, and then come back and talk and prove them wrong. So yeah, I think Kobe, and all intents and purposes, I think he deserves to be an all-star. Starter, maybe not. But the point is that starters are voted by fans. And if you're talking about winning by fans, yeah, they're saying, oh, it's a popularity contest. Yeah, it literally is a popularity contest because you're voting for him. That's what it is. Like, you're just telling people what it is. We all know that. It's been a popularity contest for years. That's just how it works. But Draymond Green will be an all-star. I don't doubt that, because he'll probably end up in the reserves with all these triple-doubles that he's had. And like, what, it was like 4 or 5 games in a row or something with a triple-double? That's insane. He'll end up being in there. I think Andre Drummond deserves to start over Carmelo Anthony, but that's just me. Because the Pistons are doing way better than the Knicks. I mean, the Knicks aren't doing bad, but Carmelo Anthony isn't even as hyped as a player on his team. Like, Carmelo isn't even the most favorite player on the team right now. Porzingis is in the news every other day, being hyped like crazy. Even though, I mean, he's good, but he ain't that good. Okay, I don't know what that was. I mean, he's good for a rookie. He's better than, he deserves the hype because he was so, I feel like this is retribution for him being dogged so much in the NBA draft and people hating him so much in the NBA draft. Like, his own fans, like, that was disrespectful, man. When I saw that, like, his own fans were like booing and stuff. How would that make you feel? Like, you got drafted, and like, this is the day you've been waiting for your whole life, and like, the people you get drafted to are booing you. Like, you're already losing from day one. That's just gotta be like, and then to still come out there and like fight for these people that are booing you and put up these amazing plays. Like, I feel like 3 games in a row where you had this where he like posted people on putback dunks. Like, not a lot of people get putback dunks, and he got them like in 3 games in a row over top of people. So that was impressive. Ooh, good up. But some people are voting for him in the All-Star game. I don't see him being an All-Star. I mean, there's just too many good players this year. There's way too many. I can't see him being an all-star. Now, who deserves to be an all-star is Isaiah Thomas. That man right there, that man deserves to be an all-star. Solid player. I think he's like in the top 10, top 15 for points a game in the league. You gotta realize, like, even though he may not have the best stats, he may not have the most rebounds, this dude is Nate Robinson's height. Like, the point is he gets less minutes because when you're that small, first off, you get blocked like that real easy. But you get tired easier because he has to fight for his points harder. Like, when you're bigger and you can have more mass too, you can just push people around, and you got longer legs, and you can jump higher, and you don't have to put forth as much effort to do the same thing. So he has to fight and push and get more room than the average person because of how small he is. He has to have more room so he doesn't get blocked. These taller people like Kevin Durant, they don't even need that much space because they can just go right over you with how tall they are. But Isaiah Thomas, man, that dude's got like nothing compared to him when it comes to reach. So I feel like his stats don't reflect his ability. I feel like he's an amazing player. maybe not an all-star starter, at least not right now. Um, Great potential, still very young, very underrated. I mean, his like second season, he had, for the first half of the season, I remember seeing a thing where he had the same stats as Kyrie Irving, and he was like a second-year guy, and he was the last draft pick. He was the second round 30th pick. He was playing on the Kings, and he had these same stats and to Kyrie Irving. We all know Kyrie Irving is obviously good. So I think Isaiah Thomas deserves to be an all-star reserve. Maybe not like the first reserve, but I think he deserves to be in the question. Other people I think that missed out. Yeah, Andre Drummond, he definitely deserved it. Dude's got more rebounds than points. Who else? Yeah, I think those are my main for the East. Yeah, the West I went over Draymond Green. But even Draymond Green, when you're talking about star, I want to go back to that star thing. Like, Draymond Green isn't even like the top 1 or 2 favorite player on his own team. Like, to be honest, I think when it comes to popularity, I think it probably goes like Steph Curry. Wow, you suck. Steph Curry, then I think it's like a tie between Clay and Iguodala, and then it's Draymond. Like, he's like 3rd or 4th on his own team, and he didn't even start for a while. Like, he's never been seen as like a star per se. Like, he's not a star player, but he is a great player. Don't get me wrong, he's great. And he's amazing for his size. I think that's insane. Like, what he does for his size at that position, it's crazy. But star-wise, Steph Curry's a star. Like, Kawhi Leonard, he's a star. Paul George, he's a star. Guys who are household names that, like, I say it, and they'll sell jerseys. Like, people that will put people in stands. Draymond Green, you put him on a team by himself, will not put people in stands. He won't. Like, he won't draw more attention. Isaiah Thomas, when he went to the Celtics, drew way more attention to the Celtics. I do talk about the Celtics a lot because I'm a Celtics fan, but I talk about him because I know a lot more about him. Anthony Davis, star player, brought way more attention to the Pelicans and the Hornets. He got drafted. Well, the Pelicans. But he brought them way more attention than they had before. I mean, they had Chris Paul, but then they lost their attention when they lost Chris Paul. So, I think the only people with, like, even Draymond, I even think DeAndre Jordan is a star player in that aspect. Because DeAndre Jordan, yeah, he's got those dunks, and he's got the cool play, and he dunked on Brandon Knight, which I still don't think is all that cool, because he's a freaking point guard. And if you're 7'2" and you can't dunk on a point guard hard, then you suck. If he had gotten blocked, he wouldn't deserve the job he has. Like, I probably would have fired him if you got blocked by a point guard straight face up like that. You're fired. Like, you can't be in the NBA. Wow, how do you... Okay. See, this is a side note why I don't like about 2K. Because, first of all, his hands are high enough. He could have dunked it. Second of all, he just threw it up. Not even trying. He could have made that very easily. That's BS. What the... Come on, man. Talk about more basketball news. If you want, I could talk about other sports. I know more about other sports too. Let's talk about the Super Bowl real quick. Denver's playing New England, and Carolina is playing Arizona. I personally believe, I want the Denver Broncos to play the Cardinals. I'll tell you why. Now, if you want to talk about good quality game-wise, it would be awesome to see the Patriots play the Panthers. it'd be real exciting to see. But to be honest, so many people were saying like the Patriots, oh, they got them in the bag, they're gonna murder the Broncos, but people, they just underestimate the Broncos, man. Like, don't even get me wrong, I hate Peyton Manning more than anybody. I really think he's a piece of garbage, washed up, nothing, that doesn't deserve the job he has right now, because he's old. I mean, he was a great quarterback, I don't even know if he's one of the greatest of all times, because he just doesn't know how to win in the clutch. Like, even when he beat Brady in 2013, we all saw how that Seahawks-Broncos Super Bowl went. Horribly. It was atrocious. They got destroyed, and I might have quit football if I was Peyton Manning if I suffered a loss like that. That was ridiculous. Like, I didn't even watch it, and I heard it was just one of the worst Super Bowls ever. It wasn't even fun. Like, I don't even know if I was the Seahawks, I don't even know if I'd be happy with that win, because, you know, you want to like go and have this dramatic win, but like to go in and just slaughter them, it's like, really? We did all this for that? Like, they were the easiest win of the whole year. That was probably the easiest win they had the whole year, and that's kind of anticlimactic, man. It was kind of the worst end to a season. Like, there were no stories to tell after that. It was just, they won. The end. It's like the worst time period for sports news ever, because normally there's stories about like Super Bowl and controversy. No, there was none. They just murdered them. That was it. The clear-cut destruction. And this year I think is different, because I believe this is Peyton Manning's last year. And John Elway, if many of you don't know, played for the Broncos. He was a quarterback, Hall of Famer now. He's the GM right now for the Broncos. Great fit, good friends with Peyton Manning. He didn't announce his retirement until he won a Super Bowl, or another Super Bowl. I believe it was his second. Just like Peyton Manning, this could be his second, because he won one with the Colts. Just like him, he retired right after he won that Super Bowl, because it was just like going away, and he just was smart like some people aren't, and just left on top of his game and left. I think that's what Manning needs to do, regardless of whether he loses Sunday, loses on the Super Bowl, or wins the Super Bowl. I think he just needs to ride off. He just into the sunset. He just needs to go. He's done. He's too old. We can clearly see he can't play a full season anymore. He can't handle it, especially the cold air in Denver. He definitely can't handle that atmosphere, killing his lungs. Like, another stat for you is Tom Brady had more touchdowns in Denver in the one game they played in Denver than Peyton Manning had in Denver for the whole season. See what I'm talking about that Ryan Leonard? Terrible. The whole season, because Manning was injured, he only had one touchdown at home the whole year. All 16 games, one touchdown, one passing touchdown. And they're playing in Denver on Sunday. But it's just, and Brady had 3 touchdowns this whole year. He had 3 touchdowns in the game that they played. But Denver is the only place that Tom Brady has a losing record. I believe he's 2-6 in Denver. And every single other city has a winning record but that city. And currently the only reason the Broncos are the #1 seed, yet they don't really get talked about as much as like the Patriots, because the Patriots lost like that 3 games still because of all the injuries that they had. And the Broncos, they have the best defense in the whole entire NFL. And I don't even know if it's a question about if there's a second place that's close to them, because it's not. They're just the best. I mean, if you look at the guys that they got on that defense, I know that they said that there was like 11 Panthers players that were Pro Bowlers, which was like the most of all time. The second most was like 6. I think it's bullcrap, Because the only reason why some of these guys don't have stats is because everyone else around them is so good. It's like an all-star lineup just on the defense. That Pro Bowl defense, the Pro Bowlers that made it, that's like the whole Denver defense, like quality-wise. Their whole line was amazing. Their cornerbacks are amazing. Their safeties are amazing. They got on all-pro linebackers. They've got good backups. Like their defensive coordinator is just amazing. It doesn't even, I don't even care about their offense. The whole thing is their defense. Their defense is what's winning these games, and it's the only reason that they exist right now. So I think that's why. I think just how good of a defense they are is going to be it won't be a Peyton Manning versus Brady battle. It's going to be a Broncos defense versus Brady battle. Because nobody's going to care about Peyton. Peyton's probably going to throw like 1, maybe 2 touchdowns. He's not going to have big plays. He's not really going to do much. But that defense, that's going to be the story. It's going to be Brady versus the defense. I'm not even going to watch when Manning got the ball in his hand. I just want to see how Brady goes up against that defense, how the defense fares. That's going to be the matchup. Now the Cardinals-Panthers, it's going to be a very different story. Because the fact is people don't realize, yeah, the Panthers won 30-24, I think, against the Seahawks. The problem is those 30 points were all scored in the first half. They didn't score a single point in the second half. Now I know it's probably because, you know, they didn't want anybody getting injured and they were just wasting the clock. But they didn't do anything. No field goals, no nothing. They didn't get close. They were just getting shut completely down. And the only reason they were getting those touchdowns at the beginning was because of the runs. That's because the Seahawks are mediocre at best at run defense this year. Whereas if you look at the Cardinals, they're like, I think like 5th or 6th in the league at run defense. So you're playing a whole different kind of caliber defense. And the only key injury that I can remember is Tyrann Mathieu, but he's a safety. So I think if they can, playing the Cardinals is going to be a very different game than that Seahawks game. Their approach is going to have to be a lot different. They're going to have to really make sure that they establish that pass, because if they don't establish a pass, I think that defense can really stop that run. Now, of course, they're going to pull out some plays because their offensive line and their run plays are good enough, but they're definitely not going to have the run game that they had against Seattle. I can tell you that much. They're not going to have that 70-yard rush that they had at the very beginning of the game on the first play. They're not having that. And I just think that the tail of the tape is just Manning wants it. I know he wants it. He wants to get it before he leaves. And it's just it's just a tale, man. I swear to you, every time that happens in football, it's just like it seems to work together for that guy. I know that the Panthers are like the team, they're like, they were the underdogs, they've never really been good, and now all of a sudden they're like defying the odds because their defense was like better than anybody could anticipate, and there's guys stepping up on offense that they didn't think would step up, like Ted Ginn, who's just a garbage. Does not deserve the stats that he's got right now. These guys are stepping up, and they're a young team, they're a fun team, they're a cool team. They got a likable quarterback in Cam Newton, very polarizing figure, because he's not the average quarterback. He's completely different. But every time I look at it, it just looks at like experience. That's just what Cam Newton lacks versus these other guys. Like, yeah, he's better than Peyton Manning right now. He's better. He's better at running. It doesn't matter. He's just better because he's younger. He's better. But the thing is, wow. And one.
2 shots, gentlemen.
But Peyton Manning, he's just got such intelligence about him the whole time. That's just been the thing that kept him up, with his intelligence. He's more how do I say it, more mentally apt at football than half these coaches. I'd trust Peyton Manning to coach my team than half of these NFL coaches that are out there right now. And he's got the rest. He's got rest. That he had that very much needed bye week for being the first team. He's at home. And I think just the fact that Cam Newton has never been in the Super Bowl, he's never tasted loss like Peyton Manning has. Peyton Manning has lost in some big games. He lost that terrible Super Bowl. He's lost in the AFC Championships. I mean, he's come close and lost so many times to Brady. I think beating Brady, it would give him the confidence to step up and just be like, okay, now there's nothing that can stop me. And that whole team would just be fired up. Because it'd just be winning one for the captain. So I think I personally think it's going to be a Denver-Arizona Super Bowl where Denver wins. That's mine. It's going to be great games. All these teams have great matchups. All of them sound like great matchups. They all sound like they give each other a hard time. I don't think any game is going to be a blowout. I don't think any scenario there's a blowout. Back to NBA. So we got some people are talking about the Warriors. I don't think they can do. Some people, I was one of the people that was at the beginning of the season wondering if they could do better than the Bulls 72-10 season. I don't know. At first I thought they wouldn't be able to, but now Steve Kerr is back, and Steve Kerr is back from that surgery that he had, and I don't know, because they're changing their system back a little bit. It's still the kind of the same system. I think having that coach back, after having these 4 losses, they're wondering, like, why are we losing with such a good team? We're losing to these crap teams. They lost to the Nuggets and the Mavericks and the freaking Bucks. Like, they're not losing to the Spurs and the Cavs. They're wrecking the Cavs. But they're losing to these know-nothing teams. I think it's just... whenever they play these crappy teams, they don't try something to prove. These guys, these Bucks and the Nuggets and the Mavericks, they're all playing like they got something to prove, and the Warriors are just going out there half-assing everything they're doing. Because they're like, oh, well, we got it in the bag, but they don't realize that that amount of heart that they're putting into that win is enough to in the NBA, I mean, having heart and just enough talent is good enough to beat just about any team on their lazy days. Any team, especially even the Warriors, because we've seen it happen. You just can't get lazy on these guys, man. I just think it's just a matter of laziness. I think that's why they lost those games. I think getting Steve Kerr back, I really think Steve Kerr is going to crack down on them. My prediction, I think they start getting a little bit more conservative towards the end of the year, especially if they start running away with it from the Spurs, because they definitely are going to keep that first seed. I don't think they beat the Bulls 72-10. I don't think they do it. I think more teams are gonna figure out the formula and realize that they can be beat. And if the Warriors come out and play like a team that can be beat, then they're gonna take advantage. And it may sound weird, but yeah, they've played before like a team that can be beat. They've had they had a close game with the Celtics, man, went to double overtime. And even though the score says they beat them by like 6, it was a lot closer than that. I mean, 6 was close, but man, it was a nail biter. It was real close. If you watched it, I watched it, and it was insane how much they kept up with them, just because they were that close, and they're a team that had heart, and the Warriors were just scrambling, trying to find out what to do. and they just looked lost out there. They didn't look like the Warriors. So I think so long as they just remember who they are, stick to the game plan, and don't get lazy, don't get complacent, realize that every team is out there to beat you. Every team is going out there to prove something, because if you beat the Warriors, you make the news. So play like every team is going out there to beat you. They have a chance, but I don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're doing it. It just seems like a myth at this point, that 72-10 season. The Spurs, man, I don't know, they got a chance at it too. They're feasting on these guys, man. The Spurs are just a technical monster. They've always been that way. I love their brand of basketball, man. That technique and the ball sharing and the stat spreading. These old guys always just pulling out these good games. I don't understand. Great coach. Who I think is going to win the finals? I don't know. It's hard. I was going to say the Cavs are probably not even going to make it to the finals based on how they're playing. But now that they got a new coach, it's a little different. It's a little bit different of a story. Because I got to see how this coach is going to coach. Current prediction. Let me see a little bit of if I got any like wild predictions. I don't think I have any wild ones for you. 76ers, I believe, are tanking. That's my thing. I think they're purposely losing like crazy so they can get all these good players. I know they're going for Ben Simmons. They get Ben Simmons, that's just going to be like the best young team out there. Like when you're talking about teams like people that are 23 and under, probably got most of the top 10 of under 23 in their pocket. I think the 76ers are just tanking. I think Miami doesn't make the playoffs. I think age is catching up to them, and they're starting to realize they have no depth, and they're about as good as they can get right about now. Right now, they're it. That's about as good as they can get is right now. And they surged earlier. I think at one point they were like 3rd seed. It's crazy. But I just think it's gonna catch up to them soon, and it kind of already is. It's kind of already catching up to them right now. So that is a play. Boston makes it. I think they make it in like a 5th or 6th seed this time. I don't think they're going to straight by into an 8th seed. But they're definitely going to lose in that first round. And they're going to continue to realize that they need a go-to scorer. Because even though they got all these role players and guys that can help your team win, they got guys to help a team win, but they don't have anybody out there that can make a team win. And honestly, every team needs one of those. If not multiples of them. The Pistons make the playoffs, yes. I think the Wizards turn their season around a little bit. Currently at like 10th seed, they were at the 12th seed. I think that they turn it around and they win. And they win more, and they end up coming back. And they get into the playoffs. Let's see, my prediction is that the Philadelphia Sixers will have less wins than the Spurs have losses. That's another prediction. I think the Spurs will lose more games than the Philadelphia 76ers will win. Another couple ones. Sacramento turns it around. They start getting into like a 5th or 6th seed. I think Sacramento can do that. I'll say Portland turns around and makes it into the playoffs somehow too. And I also say that Houston gets their act together and maintains that playoff spot. Dallas, I believe somebody's gonna get. I think they can make the playoffs, but if they get one injury, they're done. If I hear about one injury, I'm going to change my prediction that they're gone. I think Toronto at one point will lead the Eastern Conference. They won't win it. The Cavaliers will win it. But Toronto will lead at one point. I think that's something that I can go with that. I think that they will be able to do that. I think that's a couple of my bold predictions. Bold prediction for Kevin Durant in 2016 free agency. Biggest free agent since LeBron. That's tricky because he's very, very much a guy who doesn't share his personal feelings. He's not an attention seeker like LeBron, so I don't think he uses the excuse of going home just because he's losing. He doesn't just go home per se to Washington. I'd love him to come to Washington, man. Love him to come play with John Wall and Bradley Beal and Marcin Gortat and Nene. It'd be a great starting five, man. That's like it's almost a contender starting five right there. I really do believe that. It's so tough. I honestly say that he stays in Oklahoma City. I think he stays. If the Thunder are doing great right now. I think if the Thunder make it to the second or third round or further, then he stays. I think he really does, and he's just going to try to help that team build. DeMar DeRozan, I think he leaves for the Lakers. I think DeMar DeRozan does. He's having one of the best years. There's been multiple reports of the Lakers and the Toronto Raptors and some other people trying to offer him a max contract, and I think the Lakers are really going to push for another guy to be their centerpiece. And I think DeMar DeRozan really wants to be a centerpiece. Do I think he deserves it? Maybe not. Not really. I think he's a great player. I think he's able to be a centerpiece. But whether I would give him more, I don't know if I would. I think the Lakers are going to overpay him. Because that's just what the Lakers do. They're going to have a ton of money freed up with Kobe gone. More money than they've ever had, I believe, to be able to give somebody. And they're going to be able to have the means to be able to get this guy his money and get him paid. And man, guys in the NBA these days, they love to be paid. I don't blame them, not one bit. Playbook. I don't even use the playbooks, to be honest. Nobody uses playbooks. More news of what I think people need to do. I think the Celtics need to trade some stuff. They got more assets than anybody could possibly believe. Got draft picks. 2 draft picks in every first round for like the next 3 years. Ridiculous. What else? The Warriors. They really don't need to do anything. The Warriors are just the Warriors, man. They just need to keep it up. I think they got a great combo. Killing it. The Bucks to get better. I think they need to. The Bucks just need. I don't know. They just need that guy who's. I'd say whatever the antlered Congo Pogo sticks, whatever that dude's name is. He's good. But that dude, he's not exactly a great scorer. I mean, he could drive. I think he needs to play stretch 4, and Jabari Parker needs to play small forward. Jabari Parker's gotten a lot bigger. They need to develop him more. They need to focus on him. The Bulls need to move on from Derrick Rose. They need to get rid of him. They need to move on. They need to find a new star in Jimmy Butler, and they need to get rid of Joakim Noah. They need to get rid of Taj Gibson. Probably even get rid of Pau Gasol, because he's just going to turn into a liability with his age soon. I think that's more predictions I have for you. I think I'm going to end it now and leave you guys with that. Do you guys have any other things you want me to talk about? Any personal feelings about either any sport, anything going on in just regular everyday to day life, whatever? You could comment and tell me any questions you want me to talk about, something you want me to talk about while I'm playing, anything in the game you want me to play, you, hit me up. That's cool. Just message me or on comment on the YouTube video. Anything you want, I'll do whatever I can to get that set up.